introduction dulu. Right, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning everyone. Welcome to our webinar on Teknologi Kecerdasan Buatan AI dalam Pendidikan. So I'm Umaymah Harun from the Faculty of Science and Marine Environment, UMT, and I'm very thrilled to be your moderator for today's event. So it is our pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. Chua Kiman, a senior lecturer from University Malaysia, Sarawak. Mr. Chua Kiman has worked as a lecturer and scholar for more than 12 years in the field of teaching English as a second language, computational linguistics, and educational technology. As the co-director of Startup Green Malaysia, he played a significant part in the startup ecosystem. Then for different innovation in teaching and learning, particularly in the areas of technology-enhanced learning, assistive technology and learning analytics, he also has won numerous awards at the national and international level. At the same time, he also wrote multiple papers in high-impact journals, chapter in books, and also the proceeding. Additionally, in 2014, he did receive the UNIMAS Academy Award in the field for teaching, and in 2016, he won the award for Best E-Learning Facilitator at the International University E-Learning Carnival or IUCEL. With more than 15 years of experience in training and have conducted more than 150 trainings in the areas of especially educational technology or e-learning, computational linguistic, instructional design, academic writing, design thinking, creative content creation, and also social media copyright. He also a certified HRDF trainer, design thinking trainer, Microsoft Innovative Educator, trainer for Google for Education, and master's trainer for ACAP, especially for the interactive lecture. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we ready to revolutionize our teaching and learning and also take our students to new levels? So come and do join us for 2 hours webinar on Teknologi Kecerdasan Buatan AI dalam Pendidikan. And we want to discover how artificial intelligence or AI is transforming education. This webinar will be conducted in dua bahasa, Melayu and English. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Chua Kiman to our webinar. So without further ado, it's nearly 10 o'clock in the morning. I hand it over to Bumi Kenalang. It's yours, Mr. Chua.
Thank you so much, Dr. Om. Thank you for the gracious introduction. It's always a pleasure to be with UMT again. I think last year I was with another faculty, but talking more on the YouTube part. But today we'll be talking about AI in education. I have to clarify first because I realized when Miss Halida asked me about the language of this webinar, because the form given to me was in BM, so I wrote everything in BM. But the content are essentially in English, but I will be delivering it in both languages, whichever is comfortable. I can understand some are not from Malaysia or some are international lecturers, so feel free, because I personally love to code switch whenever I want, like from BM to English, from English to BM. But just stop me whenever you think I need to clarify certain things. Okay. All right. Let me just share my slides. Okay, I think can right. This is the problem when you have too many monitors. Let me just shrink this a bit. Okay, all right. So the topic given to me, I was approached by Dr. Shariza, asking me whether I can do a talk on this one, artificial intelligence in education or kecerdasan buatan dalam pendidikan. It's a big topic, to be honest, because I think a couple of days ago, Prof. Abdul Karim alias from Uni10 had shared with you a lot on ChatGPT, which is also one of the rising star in AI. So, but today I try not to talk too much on ChatGPT because I believe majority of you have done a little bit of homework on that. But I will probably cover something that Prof. Karim did not cover, as well as during the session, some of the things that you can do with ChatGPT as well. But I will also cover other tools, right? So this is the outline of my sharing within these 2 hours. Normally, when it comes to webinar like this, there is a certain level of expectation when it comes to number 2, right? Because I realize there's always this excitement of trying out new tools, trying out new application, nak kalau boleh nak cuba something yang boleh terus tukar everything. Nak AI tu terus to transform your assessment and all that. Unfortunately, we know it's still not possible at the moment. You still have to put a little bit of effort in using the tool. So there's no magical tools yang satu click tu terus transform everything, yeah. So you still have to, still make use of our capacity to do it. So I'll be talking about planning and implementation strategy for maybe roughly 20 minutes. After that, I'll go to some tools, not many as well, because based on my experience when it comes to number 2, it's really not that effective to talk about too many tools in one go because you don't have that hands-on experience. If we were to do this in a physical setting, it would be more meaningful to go step by step. But I will kind of show you some sample, tunjuk sedikit some aplikasi and all that, and then you explore it later, right? Like what happened with the previous webinar as well. And last one, of course, the hot issue now with AI is how do we manage issues of ethics and also integrity. So I'll nak elak plagiarism and all these kind of issues that we've been talking about. But let's see how extensive can we go today within these 2 hours. If you have any questions, just leave it on the chat, or if you're following this from YouTube, then you can leave it on the chat, the chat box, and then I think Dr. will pick it up and then alert me just in case I tak nampak. Okay, let's go to part 1. The planning, and the reason why I start with this one first, because like what Prof. Karim mentioned as well, and in any kind of talk that you go to, when it comes to educational technology, the critical thing is always, what do you plan to do with it, right? What do you plan to do with the tools? It doesn't matter whether it's ChatGPT or whatever tools that you're talking about. We have to spend a bit of time to think, to plan, to know what are we going to do with those tools, instead of just jumping into them bandwagon and then say, oh, okay, I want to use this as well, without realizing why do you need it in the first place, right? Like we talk a lot about ChatGPT. Some people may not need it. Okay? I have spoken to a lot of lecturers in my university as well. Some actually do not bother about it because the nature of their courses doesn't really require that. A good example would be those in arts. Some are worried about AI arts, right? All these AI tools for art. But for some, like teaching fine art, they are still using the brushes and the canvas to draw. So to them, it's not really an issue. But to some, maybe majority of the areas, right? Then we have to relook at some of the ways that we are doing when it comes to AI and all that. So a quick overview. This is I took it from PricewaterhouseCoopers. They did a very good report on the emerging trends in AI, in particular for business. But then I realized it's quite relevant to education as well. Macam ada kaitan sikit lah. I like the way they do this. They say human plus AI, and then AI. So I think the development now, as we can see, AI ni dia ada dua kumpulan besar, right? Kumpulan satu human plus AI, satu lagi AI sahaja. So AI only means it's more autonomous, right? You have automation intelligence. Like you try to automate everything. Buat automatic lah, kan? Especially all those routine and non-routine tasks. Things that we do normally on a daily basis or on a regular basis, instead of we do it manually, we use AI to automate it. One example would be scheduling. Last time, maybe you need someone to actually look at the whole spread of the number of courses, number of students, number of rooms to actually assign the schedule. Now, with computerized system, with all this machine learning and all that, the system will be able to calculate and do manual, not to say manual, we think it's manual, but do the calculation and then do the schedule for you, right? That's one form of automation. Another one is autonomous intelligence, where they can do it without human assistant. A good example now would be self-driving cars, right? people are talking about all this car that can go, from one point to another point tanpa perlu driver, kan? That kind of thing lah. That one is autonomous, right? Or even in manufacturing, banyak yang autonomous, all these robots and all that. Okay. Now, what we're talking now more is on this one, human plus AI, because we want AI to assist our intelligence. So it becomes assisted intelligence, not really fully replacing us, but more to assisting, especially in making decisions and taking action. But they don't really learn from interaction. So what we are, amazed now is this one lah, augmented intelligence. The ChatGPT is a good example because not only it augment human decision making, it also continuously learn from our interaction with the ChatGPT. For example, I mean, I'm using ChatGPT as an example where the more you interact with it, the better the system, the machine learning behind it and the LLP behind it will keep on processing more and more input. We'll do billions and billions of parameters, and then it becomes even more intelligent, and it helps us to make a lot of decisions that we cannot do based on our current capacity. For example, this is a more a more advanced kind of AI. So right now, I think you can see humans are still there because input or output given to AI and output generated by AI still requires a bit of human judgment, like what Prof. Karim mentioned as well. When it comes to ethics, emotion, and all that, humans still need to come in and make decision. Now, one day, if maybe ChatGPT version 30, version 40 could leads to this one, autonomous, where it can just decide on its own and do whatever you want. I think that one is the scarier part, but I think we are not there yet, still far, far away. Okay, some key areas in AI, just for your knowledge, just in case you are wondering, AI, because the topic given to me is AI, right? It's a broad term, so I would love you to tengok sikit lah, apa ni kecerdasan buatan ni AI ni apa. We have been using AI for in many things in our life. It's not a new thing. It's just that ChatGPT makes it new for a lot of people because of the hype. I mean, take a look at your apps, right? Your mobile apps. A good example. There's so many AI powered elements in your smartphone. Machine learning, for example, is widely used. Even neural network, these are related. Your Waze app, how did it actually know which is the shortest distance, taking into consideration all the weathers and all that. All these are AI doing your work. Your Siri, your Google Android Lens, Google, all these are using all kind of AI in the application. But ChatGPT somehow take the limelight, take the spotlight, because it covers more than just the normal machine learning, because it has natural language processing as well, has a bit of all this fuzzy, but not really fuzzy logic, but most of it will be machine learning. What I mean here is AI, it's a broad term, cover banyak benda, but we tend to limit it to ChatGPT now. A lot of people think that, oh, ChatGPT is the AI. No, AI tools are many, but ChatGPT is taking the limelight because of its capability to integrate more than that. Even robotics, right? Like I said, the kilang-kilang semua ni dah lama dah ada dah, AI powered and all. But somehow people think that, oh, AI ni baru. All right. Now, a good example would be even our roadmap. We have a very solid roadmap. Dah lama dah. We have 2021, 20. I believe not many of us actually know this. Kan? How many actually know this? That we have a roadmap for AI. And in that roadmap, we even have an education component here. I think spearheaded by UPM, and also I think this one, Unimas was also involved in terms of the autonomous marking. You can see the two projects mentioned here. The two projects mentioned here is personalized learning system. The other one is intelligent automated assessment system, where you can assess student more, in a more advanced manner. And this has been around even before 2021, just that the roadmap was designed to kind of guide you moving towards that kind of direction. So AI in education, especially in Malaysia, is not really new. But, like I said, the current trend of all this generative AI, like ChatGPT, everything makes it even bigger, right? Okay, so if you would like to know more, just go to airmap.my and then you can read further the roadmap. In fact, we have 2 more years. This is 2023, right? The roadmap is until 2025. So you can kind of judge how far have we gone. And then UNESCO has been talking about AI in education for quite some time. Even if you go to UNESCO website for AI in education, there are a lot of talk about this. Dah banyak dah, all the publication related to it. The latest one is this one, is AI in Education, Guidance for Policy Makers. In fact, any universities who would like to create your own guideline or create your own like a policy for the use of AI in any aspect of teaching and learning should also refer to this one, because inside this document, it outlines clearly what are the things that you need to consider, right? And UNESCO is all for AI in teaching and learning, or even in assessment, but you can see some points here. Be aware that teachers cannot be replaced by machine, and ensure that their rights and working conditions are protected. So in any sense, in any means that you would like to introduce AI into your teaching and learning process, you still have to make sure that the teachers are not being displaced. You know, macam, oh, sebab kita nak guna AI, kita buang cikgu, ataupun kita buang pensyarah. You know, it shouldn't be that way. It should be using AI to empower the educators or the teachers to be more efficient, or maybe more effective even, right, in performing their task as a teacher or as an educator, right? Of course, you have to keep up to the time lah, kan? Sebab AI ni makin tahun, especially starting from this year, you will see even more change, a lot of drastic changes coming in. Now we are using ChatGPT version 3 because I'm also in the OpenAI community. You'll be surprised with ChatGPT version 4 later. Surprised as in it can even write a whole book. Not by Chang already. Right now the limitation is only about 3,000 words. Dia ada token limit. Token dia sangat kecil. Taklah sangat kecil. 3,000 words is a lot, right? But the latest version coming late this year will basically expand that 4 or 5 times. So you can write like 15,000, 20,000 words of something in one whole instruction. Tak perlu buat chang-chang pun, right? You can give a very specific prompt and then you can generate. So that's the scarier part that a lot of people are worried. And we will talk about the pro and cons during this session a bit, right? Okay, so AI in the education in general, these are the strengths that people have been talking about. If you study the literature in this area for the past, you don't have to go far, for the past 10 years. In fact, AI has been around for quite some time, like what Prof. Karim mentioned in his earlier webinar. But the last 10 years alone, these are the repetitive advantages that being mentioned. First one is adaptive learning. I think this is the goal actually. Why do we use AI in education is to make learning more adaptive. Maksudnya apa-apa saja yang kita reka, apa saja yang kita design for our teaching and learning process, it can be adapted to different levels of learning. Maksudnya you tak perlu nak crack your head to design on your own. AI can do it for you. A good example would be your content. Differentiated teaching, kan? Kalau dalam kelas, normally, in our case, in higher education, maybe this is not really a critical issue. In primary and secondary school, if this one can be done, it will be very, very helpful. Because you have different level of students. Normally, in our teaching, we will go for the middle path, right? The majority. Maksudnya, we don't care about the not to say we don't care, that's the wrong word to use. We tend to ignore the the outliers. Yang sangat cemerlang dengan yang sangat lemah, we tend to go for the middle one, right? And then we will help those who are in need, and then those who are cemerlang tu, kita let them flourish on their own. Normally that's the case. But we have to do it, right? We have to think of how to address these kind of groupings. But if AI can be used well in the learning management system, for example, you don't have to do it on your own. The learning management itself can design, you just give them the instruction, then the AI system will spread. Okay, yang ni, because this student is a bit more, need more help, we'll do this first. And this one, they have done that level, so can pass that level. So this is the beauty of, a AI-based kind of system where adaptive learning can be implemented. In fact, it has been done in many, many areas, including learning management system. It's just that the one that we've been using, for example, Moodle, requires a bit of tweak from the developer side. You have to do your own adjustment on how you want to apply this adaptive learning. Number 2 is also quite critical, assistive learning. Just now it's adaptive, then it's assistive. Assistive is more to enhancing equity or make your learning or teaching and learning more equitable. Maksudnya kita cuba cover untuk pelajar-pelajar kurang upaya. Ataupun sometimes you call it kelainan upaya. Tapi dalam our law is kurang upaya. A good example would be I taught a lot of special needs students in my class. A good example would be those with who are visually impaired. Maksudnya yang buta, pelajar buta. Kalau tak ada AI based tool, it would be very hard for me to keep on changing my content to braille, you know, nak tukar to speech and everything. It would be very challenging. But thanks to AI, especially speech to text, I can quickly transfer whatever I'm delivering from speech, turn into text, and then the text can be generated in audible form for the student to listen, or just transform into braille if they are equipped with the electronic braille. All this thanks to AI, or else I have to do a lot of adjustment on my own. Of course, this is just one example, but there's so many assistive tools out there which are powered by AI where you can cater for different needs, including learning disabilities, those with dyslexia, right? And also those who with the autism. I think there are quite a number of apps which are developed to help them, maybe the mild one, right, on using different types of AI tools. Then number 3 would be accessible resources. You're going to promote flexibility because you don't have to rely on you, like ChatGPT, for example. It's basically a 24-hour tutor. You don't need to engage with your student all the time because the student can actually ask ChatGPT to answer certain question or give them resources without bothering you at night, right? So they can actually contact ChatGPT first, or your assistant teacher, before disturbing you, right? And also give them greater autonomy, to be honest. If you train your students well, they realize that all these AI tools will give them more autonomy. They can decide, you know, what are useful, what are the things that they can learn from the process rather than depending on you. And in relation to accessible resources will be appropriate feedback. Yang ni yang penting sebenarnya. I think Prof. Karim highlighted this very well. We, as educators, we spend a lot of our time doing things which are not really related to teaching and learning. Even when we are doing teaching and learning, we don't even have enough time to actually talk to every single one of our students. Correct? If your class is small, you'll be fine kan. Kalau pelajar sikit, contoh 20, 30, mungkin you can actually get to know one by one. You can even know dia punya parent, you can even know dia punya hobby and all that. But imagine if you have 300 students in one semester. I doubt you can actually know every single one of them. The most you could achieve probably just remember the names, right? Or maybe where they come from. But you don't really know up to the detail where, you know, what is their interest and all that. That is just knowing them. But what about feedback, right? You give them assignments and all that. They submit their assignment. When is the time you give them feedback? Most of the time, you wait until final week. Then only you key in the marks. They don't even get the chance to improve because there's no feedback altogether throughout the previous 14 weeks. What's the point, right? I mean, sometimes students argue that I pay for the fee to study, but I only get feedback after the final exam. I don't even know what happened for my assignments and all that. So this is why AI can help you in giving appropriate feedback. Student can ask tools like ChatGPT, for example, or any AI tools to give a bit of feedback on what they are doing. And you yourself, if you want to implement AI into your system, like learning management system, it can provide meaningful feedback to them, telling them that, look, you seems to be weak in this skill. You might want to polish up on this skill first, something like that. Because, you know, if you want to depend on yourself alone, that will be really, really challenging. Last one, of course, related to number 4 as well because of this repetitive task. A good thing would be reporting, especially in schools. We talk about lesson planning, right? And talk about can you report the progress and doing some analytics. Now, with AI, a lot of this reporting analytics can be done automatically. You don't even have to spend too long. Your job is more on interpreting or doing your own judgment based on those generated report. AI can do the report for you, can also summarize the outcome for you and everything, but you are the one who is going to make the final decision. The AI will not make decision for you. I mean, AI will make decisions for you, but it's up to you whether you want to follow or not because you are human anyway, right? I mean, why do you have to follow what AI tells you? Let's say the AI said you should fail this student, for example. Are you going to follow it? Maybe no, because you probably worried to, okay, actually this student, even though he copied from this part, he did try to put it in a different way. So maybe I'll give him another chance to do it or maybe present in front of me. AI can tell you that this guy is wrong because of the detection and everything, but you are the one who's going to make the decision, right? So don't fully rely on whatever AI is telling you, okay? I think this one is critical for school as well, right? We have been talking about how to reduce the burden of the school. I really foresee, I don't know whether this is going to happen, but I have been talking about having a unified system for all the schools rather than having so many subsystem. Just get one where everything is there. Parent can access, student can access, teacher can access, everything is there. You just have to do uh, 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 the part of maintaining it, right? Okay, let's hear from you. I'm almost done for that part. But I want to hear from you first before I go to the tools and all that. Which aspect of your current teaching and assessment practices that yeah, you may not use it yet. If you use it, that would be fine. That can AI can benefit you. All right. Which aspect of your current teaching and assessment practices that you think AI can benefit you at the moment, right? At the moment. If you don't have any plan yet, but you can see the potential area that you would like to improve, then just go to this link. Go or just use your phone and scan this QR code and respond, right? If you are not able to use your phone because you are using the phone to access the webinar, then you can type the link in your browser. Just go to app.wooclap.com and then just /UMTAI. All right, UMTAI. Okay, let me see. You can be as specific as you want, or you can be a bit general, up to you, right? Meaning, let's say you would like to, how to put it? You would like to be more specific, then it's fine. Kalau tak nak, then make it general. Contohnya, I think I can use AI to help me come out with rubrics. Contoh, that would be one lah, kan? One. At least one lah. If you have a lot, then just go ahead and type more, but one will be enough. just to get an overview of what you think AI can help you in the teaching and learning process as well as assessment. Boleh ah? Let me see. I don't even know my. Yeah, okay. Are you able to access, or I give you the wrong link? Can, right? Yeah, I think I can. I'm seeing some sample here. Only one? Or I go to the wrong one? Let me see. The QR code is the wrong one, right? Wait, let me see. I think the QR code is the wrong QR code. Sorry. I think the QR code is the wrong one. You should be going to this one. Can you retype this? Yeah, I think I give you the wrong QR code. Apologies, right? This is the correct one. Sorry, I realized that was the wrong one. Okay. Apologies on that. I think those who use the link, they will be able to see it. But yeah. You can be general now. I think some say assessment. If you would like to be more specific, that would be better. Like, marking scheme, ke, rubrics, ke, maybe assessment ideas, ke, question, ke, that would be better. I mean, the specific one. All right. Let me see the book cloud. Yeah, I see this already. You can see the trend here. I think that's the main concern. Even for teaching and learning, we are always... Yeah, apologies just now. I gave you the wrong... Okay. Keep it coming. I think if I were to go by result, and then I can see like teaching learning plan, lesson plan, lepas tu ada marking scheme, lecture notes, quiz, developing games, student learning behavior, alright, that's good. Create marking rubric. I think I can use AI to help me generate MCQ question, using AI to detect AI. I think this one is already there. Okay. But the big word is still assessment. Assessment, I think that's in fact, I think coming up with assessment question will be quite useful at the moment. What I would really want to see in the next few years would be helping us to grade actually, right? I think that is the critical part, where we are always bogged down by the marking tu. Bayangkan kalau ada 300 script, you nak mark seorang-seorang tu, memang sometimes will take some time, right? But of course, you are not going to use AI to just replace you. You want to use AI to help you make meaningful interpretation of the result. Bukan sekadar that just replace you for marking. Okay, I can see you can keep them coming about quite a number here, but majority, if you buy the word cloud, then you can see its assessment. All right. So thank you so much for your feedback at the moment. Let me go back to my slide. Okay. So a quick one on that. Since a lot of you are talking about assessment, then maybe I'll give you some idea on that in a bit. But I think during the Prof. Karin session, those of you who have joined, then you probably get some ideas there on how you can use AI tools, especially ChatGPT in generating all the assessment part. But these are the things that you have to consider first. Course content and expected outcome. You have to relook at your expected outcome, especially learning outcomes, whether or not it can be assisted or can be enhanced through AI. If it's not, then you don't need it. Like I said just now, a good example would be my colleagues from fine art. You don't really need AI to, they don't really need AI to assist them because it's very hands-on and the class size is also small, like maybe like 20 of them only. So the lecturer can actually teach them quite effectively without the need of AI. In your case, for example, you may need AI to generate exam questions, to come up with ideas for activities. Then you might want to think which one can be done through the help of AI. Number two is quite popular as well, learning activities and tasks. After many semesters of teaching, I think you get bored with your own teaching strategies or teaching tasks. Kan, setiap sem sama saja. You pun rasa macam, you pun dah tak ada mood dah nak mengajar that part because every sem the same activity. So you might want to use AI tools like ChatGPT to give you some ideas, right, on what else to do. Also, you have to consider your instructional approaches. One example that I always give is PBL. If you have been using problem-based learning all this while, with a systematic implementation of problem-based learning, or even project-based learning, or even any other form of instructional approaches, you can use AI to give you some guidance or some ideas on how else to improve. For example, in PBL, the trigger is always challenging. That's why I think in most cases we tend to recycle some of the triggers because you don't want to waste time to generate. Not to say you don't want to waste time, just that you don't have time to find out newer ones. So you might want to use AI to help you to get an idea on how to improve your trigger, or even gamification. I can show you later on how you can use ChatGPT to give you ideas on how you gamify certain unit, right? Last one is assessment, of course. I think this is critical, formative and summative. Normally, the concern is always summative. Macam yang Prof Kari tunjuk lah, MCQ, and kalau yang mengajar language tu, nak cari text satu hal juga kan, the text, because you have to make sure that the text is suitable and all that, or even in other areas like mathematics or science and all that, you want to come up with the context. Sometimes it takes quite a number of effort to generate some ideas. So you can use AI to give you some initial inspiration, then you modify it according to your learner's need. I think there's a beauty of AI. That's the planning part. So you need to make sure these are clear first, then baru you pick and choose the tools to help you. Because if you go straight to the tool, like I know some of my colleagues as well, lecturers, bila kita duduk hebat-hebat, heboh-heboh pasal ChatGPT ni, dia kata, apa ChatGPT ni? Dia duduk depan ChatGPT, tengok ChatGPT tengok dia. Because dia tak tahu, because tak ada arahan kan. Even though ChatGPT ada bagi dia tu, tapi dia tak bagi tahu cara nak use it well, right? So that's the thing, like you need to know first before you even jump to the tools. Okay. Now, in helping you as well in deciding macam mana you nak guna AI ni, I always fall back to this SAMR. I think a lot of you know this model. Very simple model and very helpful. SAMR actually stands for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. So you can see from the verb itself. So if you just want AI to enhance whatever you are doing now, contoh just to substitute you, then you can still use it. You can use it, no problem, same task, but new tool. Kan? Same task tu tak tukar, it's the same thing that you have been doing last semester, tapi you just want to tweak, okay, kita tak nak guna ni, kita guna yang ni, AI tool lain, contoh. That would be substitution, which is the lowest level of any integration lah, right? Or the AI in front here can be changed to anything, like tag or whatever, right? Augmentation means, okay, now that we have AI tool, we want the tool not only to substitute us, but to also improve the process. So same task, but easier to implement or make it more advanced, in that sense. So you are still at the enhancement level. Or with AI, you actually do modification, like allow for significant task redesign. You redesign a bit your mostly different task. Contoh, PBL tadi, right? PBL. Normally your trigger will come from you. Now, why not? You ask the student to generate their own trigger using ChatGPT. That's a good example lah. Meaning trigger tu, you just give them the tema, tapi diorang yang cari the trigger and then find out the possible solution by interacting with ChatGPT and then evaluate. Betul ke dia punya solution ni? Macam salah saja, that kind of. So you dah buat the modification to the task. If the previous task is still about evaluation lah kan. Kalau the previous task is not about evaluation, then you're actually doing the top one, which is you are redefining whatever you are doing. That would be really new and different. So depending on how comfortable you are with AI tools, not just ChatGPT lah, any other tools, you can decide what are the level of changes that you want to do based on this SAMR framework, right? So normally for even for my colleagues, I would encourage them to try this one dulu. At least substitution or augmentation dulu. Whichever part that you think can be substituted with AI tool, then you go ahead. Or maybe enhance it a bit by augmenting the certain process or steps, then that would be good enough. If you want to do modification or redefinition, kadang-kadang dia akan involve MQA pula kan, and even professional bodies because you are revamping your assessment strategy. But I think it's fine because you are still aligned to the same outcome. Okay. Last one, implementation strategy. I mean, last part for this one would be tadi is more on the planning of your content and everything, but this is implementing the whole strategy, and it might involve the management, university management and all that. First one to consider is access to AI tools. We talk about ChatGPT, for example. Actually, a lot of students do not even know how to access it. They don't even know it exists, some of them. So you need to make sure whether the AI tools can be accessible by all, including all these facilities that you have, internet network and whatnot. Also, learners and educators' digital competence. If you're not really keen in adopting any of the tools, you probably need to make sure that you are okay with it first. Any tools. Once you're okay with it, then you try and implement it, right? And you also have to consider whether learners are ready. This one can be done by having some, I call it onboarding session. If you would like to introduce any tools to your teaching and learning, it's always good to have a period of onboarding, showcase to them, and in your class, maybe you can also use it while you are teaching and all that, and that they get familiar, usage of it, be familiarized with it. Then only you start to use it as part of your assessment, for example. There must be an academic safety net. We always talk about punishment, but we forgot about the safety net. What happens if we detect students are using, we know that this student uses AI generated text. What are we going to do about it? Are we going to just punish them? Now, what about the safety net? Are you going to kick them out of the universities and all that? So you also have to think about the safety net on ensuring that the students are maybe given another chance to redo or to prove the level of competence through a different way, right? Last one will be the compliance to current standards. I think this is also critical, especially those involving professional bodies. I can see like certain field may not be keen in directly adopting certain tools because you have to comply to certain regulation as well. So you have to reevaluate that part, whether or not that tool can be done or can be used in your teaching and learning process and assessment. Okay. All right, that's part one. I don't see any question yet, so I think there's no question at the moment. So let's go to part two. I think this is the one that a lot of you are probably more excited about. Okay, useful tools and their potential. I have about 4, but I think we will go to some a bit slower, but I think the one that you have been exposed to will be ChatGPT. But I'm not sure how many of you have not tried it. I believe you have attended Prof Karim session, but just in case, ChatGPT apa ni dalam Webex ni just in case, how many of you have not tried ChatGPT? Have not. Yang yes tu tak payahlah kan? Tak adalah. Yang dah tu okay lah kan? Yang not, I think only one. Only one? The rest dah try. Not yet. Okay, not yet. Okay, fine. So kadang-kadang ni dia macam ni lah. Bila we buat webinar, we don't know the apa tu, the background kan. Susah kita nak decide. But okay, like I'll assume you have not heard about it. Maybe some of you have heard about it, but then if you have heard about it, then you can also share. Kalau nak recap whatever Prof Karim has covered, you can rewatch the video because he also covered some part. But I will show some of the potential use of ChatGPT first. Yeah. So the first one is the king. I purposely put that the king of AI because that is the talk of the town. Even though I personally do not, I personally do not believe this is the king. In fact, I kesian dengan AI sebab seolah-olah AI ni ChatGPT je. Padahal AI is a big field, right? It's a big and amazing field. But of course, we have been talking about ChatGPT for the past couple of months. One thing I have to tell you, please do not download the app version from App Store or from Play Store. Those are not from OpenAI. ChatGPT only exists in the web version, which is chat.openai.com. Okay, I'm going to type this because let me tell you a bit about this because GPT engine is an open source code. A lot of developers actually use the code and could create their app and charge money. You get what I mean? So don't go to App Store or go to Play Store and then search GPT. You'll find all sort of people claiming that it's ChatGPT, but it's actually not ChatGPT. It's the old open source version. If you want to try the real ChatGPT, it's only on web. If you want to use your mobile, you have to use your browser. Buka lah browser on your phone kan. Kalau Apple tu Safari ke Chrome ke on your phone, and then point your browser to chat.openai.com. That is the correct one. Sebab I notice ada a few developers took advantage of this and charge so high. Ada yang charge sampai 100 lebih and then ada yang bayar because they thought that ChatGPT ni kena bayar. I kesian juga lah. Actually it's free. Memang ada plus version but it's still on the web. Tak ada app ya. You have to be careful sebab ada yang take advantage of this. Of course then you have all sort of variety lah. Semua based on the same concept, tapi yang the real engine, yang current one, yang that we are talking about is this one, right? chat.openai.com. Oh yeah, this one I just shared. Later on, if you have the time, you can also go through these two articles that I wrote, especially this one, danger of downgrading AI to ChatGPT. Sebab ada yang kata, oh ChatGPT ni AI. I mean, AI is only about ChatGPT. No, because it's bigger. Just that ChatGPT is like the talk of the town and everyone is hyping it and there are so many tools out there which are similar, just that people don't really talk about it that frequently. Okay, I'll go to this one. Quickly dulu. Pro, packed with advanced function from Q&A to role-playing. I think this is what I like about OpenAI. No, what I like initially. Now I hate OpenAI because I'm in the community for quite some time already. OpenAI is an open source non-profit organization at first. They are all for using AI for ethical use. They memang champion lah, they come up with a lot of codes and also sharing free API and all that. And GPT-3 has been around for quite some years. A lot of apps are using it. Quillbot, right? If you have used Quillbot, that's one example. Grammarly uses GPT engine as well because they give it to the people to use it and to detect grammar and all that. A lot of plagiarism checker like Turnitin also uses the same kind of transformer to train it. Tapi, ever since they get money from Microsoft, right? It's about the harder investment from Microsoft. They turn a bit evil because of this capitalist mindset. They start to be profit. So now OpenAI are no longer not for profit. They are actually for profit now. They have another incorporated form. So they are making money out of this. So what happened is, instead of using ChatGPT for other people, they create ChatGPT on their own and try to make money out of this. Right? That is the reason why it becomes the talk of the town. And with Microsoft investment now, with Bing and all that, then you can see why ChatGPT is going to grow even faster because of this. I don't know. Some people don't like it, but I call it capitalist mindset, where you want to make money and then to grow. So you have fast response with human-like language features. The key is number 3, actually. This one, contextualized output. This is the beauty of ChatGPT. It becomes very contextualized in a chat. It can relate to anything that you have chat before. Not like other Q&A style chatbot. You tanya satu soalan, dia jawab. Satu soalan, dia jawab. Dia tak ada relation at all. Tapi ChatGPT, dia dapat tangkap the whole context. Also seamless multilingual usage. I'll show you in a bit. Where you can switch any languages you want at the same time. Dia boleh faham. Right? And the con is too open. Yeah, may contain harmful, bias, incorrect content. But latest version macam dah kurang dah because they face pressure and the CTO has decided to suppress a lot of output, right? And number 2, lack of instructional cues. Actually, you need knowledge on prompts engineering. What Prof. Karim mentioned. You need to know how to prompt in order to generate the input. Kalau tak ada, memang you tak tahu nak buat dengan ChatGPT. Alright? So I'm gonna do this. Now, this one. This is I show you this page lah kan. Okay. This is the free version. I hopefully dia tak lock me out lah kan. Because of this free ni, dia asyik-asyik nak keluar. This ChatGPT. Kita pergi ChatGPT juga. I know because your interest is more on this one. And you can see here, this is the February 13 version. You click kat bawah tu. February 13 is the latest version at the moment. You can read the release note here. All right, and what are the changes made? So if you go for the correct one, this one, you can constantly get the updated version. Kalau you download the app version and all that, those are not really the updated one, right? So, okay, I give you one sample first, this one. Nampak tak what I did here, the prompt? I zoom in sikit. Okay, sekejap lah. Dia macam tak center lah pula. Okay, tak apa. Pelik. Okay. I would like to create a gamified lesson for my class on research methodology. You bagi konteks dulu. You nak buat apa? Your method, lepas tu apa topik you. Ni contoh saja ya. Lagi spesifik, lagi bagus lah. But now it's a good start. I would need a suitable narrative. You bagi tahu apa you nak. And characters that would be able to help students to learn more about the differences between quantitative and qualitative research. So kalau you nak break down one by one pun boleh actually. Kan start buat satu dulu. Tapi dia akan bagi terus. So, I can help you with that. Here's a possible narrative and characters for your gamified lesson. Dia bagi cadangan dah. Okay, narrative. Welcome to the exciting world of research. You are a young scientist who has just blah blah. Dia bagi konteks tu. So you can adopt this kind of idea in your design of your gamified lesson, right? Then to do that, you need to learn about the different research method and apply them to your investigation. Lepas tu dia bagilah character, Dr. Q, a quantitative researcher, blah blah blah. Dr. Q's nemesis is Professor QA, blah blah blah. Dia bagi karakter, right? Dia bagi karakter. And also apa ni? Dia bagi the ideas and how do you plan to do it? Because I only ask until narrative and characters, I can go further, right? So can you suggest 2 challenges using the narrative and characters above? Contoh. Nampak? Dia bagi challenge dulu. Kalau you yang design game lah kan, you nak buat game. I saw some katanya dia nak buat game. So dia bagi you inspiration. Alright? Dia bagi inspiration. And of course, it's again, like I said, we are talking about human plus AI. We are not asking AI to replace us altogether. Even in my talk, in my video ke apa yang I buat pasal AI, I always emphasize this. AI is a source of inspiration at the moment, not as a substitution. So what happened here is, dia dah bagi idea here. You baca lah idea dia kan. Dr. Q and Professor QA have a friendly competition to see blah blah blah. Your challenge is to help Detective D analyze the data blah blah blah. So you can ambil ni, letak as one of your activity. alright, dalam kelas, and then you bagi the data, and then the student will be able to evaluate. Contoh dia buat ni, evaluate the finding based on reliability, validity, and generalizability. So contoh you dah ada data set yang you ada dalam kelas. You can use this as a context. So your usual lecture yang normally you buat dalam kelas tu, tiba-tiba dah boleh di gamify with the help of ChatGPT. Ni baru satu contoh using gamify lah. Kalau you nak guna problem-based learning, then you can be more specific. Contoh kalau I start new chat now, I can say, I would like to design a class task, or maybe a task, using problem-based learning on the issue of climate change, especially on marine life. Can you suggest suitable trigger for this? I type, bagi arahan, bagi prompt, lepas tu dia pun bagi. Certainly, here are a few trigger ideas for designing problem-based learning, blah, blah, blah. Dia bagi idea. Right? Dia bagi idea. Okay, your job of course is to verify this. You are the expert ya, by the way. Jangan lupa, kita human yang expert ya. Assistant, just treat AI like an assistant. I always tell that. Just treat AI as an assistant. Do not treat AI as an expert first at the moment. Belum tahap tu lagi. Treat it as an assistant. So dia dah bagi idea, kita verify lah. Okay, dia baca. Oh, okay, yang ni boleh. So kalau you perlukan, okay, contoh you like number 1. I like the first one. I tak bagi tahu apa tu. I just bagi tahu first one saja. This is the beauty of ChatGPT. Dia akan link to the context. Can you provide suitable resources such as reading maybe articles for that to help my students? Contoh kan, I suka, I know some people don't like this, tapi kalau bila I guna ChatGPT myself lah kan, I suka bercakap. Style bercakap in a normal way. Lepas tu dia bagi. Tapi yang ni, I think somebody mentioned tadi, I saw that. You have to verify ya. Nampak tak dia bagi ni, tapi dia tak bagi tahu kat mana. Sometimes made up. But the latest version, because like I said, I'm in the community, OpenAI community, the latest version has a very unique filtering system that will filter all the fake information or all the fake generation. But you still have to verify. Sebab it's always good to have a double check. Now, let's say, kalau nak tanya, just say, can I have the link for the first article? Kalau dia tak dapat bagi the link, then don't use it. Nampak? Dia bagi link tu. So, you click lah link tu. Verify. Walaupun information ni sebenarnya updated. Dia bukan 2021. It's still new. You baca. Betul. So, bolehlah guna yang first one. You get what I mean? Alright. Boleh kan? Kalau yang nak 2. Just continue the conversation. What about article number 2? Can you see how powerful this ChatGPT is in saving your life? Save a lot of time, to be honest. Walaupun I'm not like, again, do not use it as an expert, use it as an assistant. You just bayangkan lah, selama ni kita ada assistant kan, research assistant ke, teaching assistant ke, apa-apa assistant kat tepi kita ni. Now we can have one which is able to do so many things kan. Why not, right? Why not, right? So klik kan ni, pun verify lah kerja kita pun nampak, not found, so tak boleh guna. Okay, yang ni tak nampak. Okay, so you can ban. So you can say, this is wrong. Dia pun akan eliminate. By the way, please do that ya. Every time you found something wrong or something, siapa yang salah ke apa, just say it's wrong. Walaupun dia akan jawab macam ni kan, walaupun dia akan jawab balik macam ni, dia akan bagi link lain. You are helping the language model, the large language model to improve. Meaning to say, every time kalau you wrong ni, the parameters behind it will eliminate all this wrong one. Because the latest version memang tengah do this. They are trying to eliminate all this possible. Kalau you tanya lah all this racism ke apa kan, dia akan eliminate. It will not be that not as bad as before. Kalau you follow the development from the first version 22nd November last year until now, you can see it has been better and better because of the feedback that we've been giving, right? Okay, that's one. Ni contoh lah kan, ni contoh. This is for instructional. I zoom out sikit sebab tak nampak. You can also do this one, like this one. Ni kalau yang membaca lah, ni membantu pelajar lah. Contoh, do you know the book Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami? Kan? Contoh lah kan, cikgu suruh baca tapi ni untuk pelajar ya, untuk pelajar. Lecturer suruh baca ataupun cikgu suruh baca tapi tak faham. Okay, contoh kan. Yes, I'm familiar. And then you can ask, can you summarize it in 50 words? Boleh, bla bla. Contoh lah, you still cannot get it. So you can say, boleh tak terangkan dalam bahasa Melayu? Dia akan automatic. This is what I meant by multilingual support, which I really like as well. Walaupun masalah dengan versi BM at the moment, it's a mix with bahasa Indonesia. This is the limitation of the corpus at the moment. I mentioned this in my previous session as well. It's very challenging to find BM punya corpus because it's always overshadowed by bahasa Indonesia. Sebab corpus dia lagi besar and the users are more kan. But okay lah kan? Boleh lah kan? Boleh lah faham. Kalau nak Manglish, what about in Manglish? This is what I like. You can continue the flow. Nampak? Dia buat Manglish pula tu. Broken English. Tapi okay lah kan? Talking about ini is a young dude who lepak and think a lot. He's really affected. Nampak tak? Benda-benda macam ni, kalau kita tengok dari segi pembelajaran, it helps student to be interested to the topic. Mula-mula mungkin dia tak faham the novel tu, tapi bila dia dah baca dalam versi macam ni, young dude who lepak and think a lot, he's really okay, interesting juga cerita ni. Mungkin dia akan read the book further. Mungkin, saya kata mungkin ya. Sebab the downside is of course they won't read. Tapi it's a good tutor for student as well. Kalau yang tahu multiple language, contoh kalau I can say here, I tunjuklah sikit. Bukan nak show off, tapi nak tunjuk dia punya capability. I type. Oops, sorry. My typing tu. So saya tanya, ni dalam bahasa Mandarin ya. Saya tanya, so dalam buku ni ada tak dia punya value ataupun moral value? Dia pun terang lah dalam bahasa Mandarin. Nampak tak dia switch tu, I don't even have to repeat Norwegian Wood. Dia dah teruskan the conversation tu in multiple language. Okay? I mean, of course, tak payah terang lah. What I mean here is the multilingual support is capable. Arabic pun okay. Cuma Arabic tu I notice ada problem juga sebab dia punya corpus tak besar. So, kadang-kadang tu salah. In languages yang paling powerful now, of course, is English. That's the biggest language corpus. So, imagine if you have multilingual student in your class from different countries or even from within Malaysia itself, whatever learning process that you want them to enhance, they can do it on their own without you having to take the effort. For example, dulu mungkin your content, your slides, you have to do bilingual kan? You can buat in dua bahasa and then you have to rely on Google Translate on that. But now they can actually ask ChatGPT to check whether can explain in the different contexts. Alright, I have some sample here lah. You can even ask ChatGPT to buat sajak. Nampak? Sajak dia pun cantik ni. Tulis sajak ringkas tentang pentingnya bahasa Melayu sebagai bahasa kebangsaan. Dia pun buatlah sajak. Tiba-tiba semua jadi sastrawan negara. In fact, ada yang ini sedikit tak bermoral lah tu ni. Tapi boleh lah. Bukan boleh. Boleh dihindari nantilah kan. I think akta hak cipta ni kena ubah lah. Sebab kena selari dengan zaman. Because I saw some who actually use ChatGPT to publish books in a short time. Dia buat buku, kompilasi, sajak semua tu. Sebenarnya sajak tu semua di-generate through ChatGPT. Yang tu tidak bertanggungjawab lah. In a way. But I think it's also high time for all this akta yang berkaitan, akta hak cipta semua tu, copyright law, everything to be responsive to the time kan. All this lah. Yang ada tanya soalan sama, can you provide a 100-word passage about deforestation followed by 3 comprehension question? Yang I think Prof Karin dah demonstrate this. So dia bagilah soalan. Kalau nak buat rubrik pun boleh, right? Rubrik. Contoh ni. Nampak rubrik. Create a marking scheme for evaluating student writing. Ni writing lah kan. Kalau you ada topik lain, you can try lah kan. Create a marking scheme for evaluating student writing in line with you bagi apa kriteria you. Like idea development pun. Lepas tu dia akan generate. marking scheme for evaluating learning, idea development, excellent tu berapa, good tu apa, fair tu apa, poor tu apa. I tak bagi markah lah yang ni. Kalau you nak bagi markah boleh. You can say with a total marks of 20, lepas tu dia akan pecahkan lah. But to me, I just need the rubrics. Bla bla bla. Lepas tu kalau you tak suka dia punya listing macam ni, kalau nak memudahkan hidup you lagi, you can just say, can present this in table format? Boleh, dia kata. Nak buatlah dalam table. Ideal development, excellent. Dah siap dah your rubric. Tapi, jangan ambil bulat-bulat lah, by the way. You have to go through, betul ke tak? Tapi nampak macam, okay, excellence, idea well developed, idea successfully developed, idea kan ni struggling, kadang-kadang nak buat ni susah kan. So you have an idea, then you can generate it. Okay, so this is the beauty of ChatGPT as well. Kalau nak spesifik lagi, of course you can like what Prof Karvin tunjuk tu, siap dengan markah semua, then you can say can you divide it according to the following mark. Contoh idea development 20, language accuracy 10, dia akan pecahkan lagi lah, right? So it's a matter of how you play around with the prompts. Another example would be yang ni, now I dah log out lah. Okay, hopefully. I takut ni, bila free ni dia suka sangat. You know it's plus, right? I think some of you are not aware. Kalau you nak upgrade, you can tekan kat sini, upgrade to plus. Bayarannya hanyalah, murah saja. Murah. 20 USD. RM80 macam bayar Astro, right? Siapa yang ada Astro tu bolehlah unsubscribe Astro, subscribe ChatGPT. Tak adalah. Why? Kalau you go for plus, this is for plus ya. Dia still online, cuma dia akan available when demand is high, fast response rate. Tapi to me, tak perlulah. Guna free je. Just bersabar sikit lah kadang-kadang. Just refresh, masuk. Sebab to me, tak perlu bayar pun. Sebab that's why I hate OpenAI now because of this reason. Dia nak make money saja. But I can understand the reason lah, right? I can understand the reason. Okay, now, anything else you want to demonstrate for ChatGPT before I go to the next one? Kalau ada soalan pasal ChatGPT lah. I think the rest tu I dah cover in the previous sharing.
I think we have one question from the chat box.
Yeah.
What is the probability that the app will repeat or give the same answer to another user?
Very, very low if the question is general. In fact, you can do that on your own. Like contoh kalau I tanya the same thing again, right? You will probably not get the exact same one. There will be minor changes. But if the question is too specific, or there is only one answer to that, then obviously you will get the same answer. Contoh 1 + 1 = 2, kalau dia bagi jawapan lain tu pelik lah. I mean, if the answer is very narrow to begin with, then you're going to expect the same answer. But if it's open-ended, like I can ask the same thing, what is deforestation? Kalau another user asks the same thing, you will not get the identical one. In fact, that is the advantage of the transformer. Dalam machine learning, transformer dia pick and choose from different words and then combine. Kalau you tanya lagi, there will be slight variation to this. There will be a slight changes, and of course, the more you ask, the probability of getting the same one is there. But cuma it depends on the question lah, right? Okay, I hope I answered that. Of course, kalau you tanya soalan yang kalau you tanya soalan yang spesifik tu macam 1 + 1 tu akan 1 lah. Akan 2 lah kan. The more specific it is, then it is. Okay.
We have one more question from Nadia Jeffrey. Can show example of prompt, please?
Example banyak ni. Okay, like this. I give you the link. And nanti I bagi link. But contoh because it depends on what you want to use. I bagi link. For ChatGPT. But what I would encourage you to try is apart from using this kind of prompt, like my habit is always to make it like a conversation. Macam you tanya soalan yang comes to your mind and see dia punya responses. Kalau you nampak macam responses dia tu tak berapa tak berapa cantik, and you can actually use the prompt lah. I tengah cari dia punya link ni kat mana. Yang ni. You can go to this data, this. Sekejap, I tunjuk. Paste kat sini. Yeah, this one. this is some sample that you can, there's a long whole list lah sebenarnya. Contoh you nak act as a English pronunciation apa, dia ada bagi prompt. These are the prompts. You can change the thing lah kan. Kalau nak search, you can search by the topic. Okay, dia ada link. This the whole link here. Banyak ni, right? Okay. But to me, you don't even need a complicated, tak perlu panjang sangat sebenarnya. I notice some people, they overcomplicate the prompt. Sebenarnya, you can do part by part. Tak payahlah macam in one prompt tu, you bagi tahu semua. Slow, you know, you can actually go slower. Like, I hope dia tak down ni. Okay. Contoh kalau act an interviewer kan, I suka, hi, next week, I will be attending an interview with Media Prima, a media agency. I bagi contoh sekejap ya. Okay. Contoh lah, kita cakap dulu. Lepas tu dia kata lah, how can I assist you, blah, blah. I would like you to act as the interviewer. So that's why I don't really like prefix punya prompt. I suka macam cakap. I would like you to act as an interviewer. Can you interview me with some important questions? Dia pun bagilah. Sure, I can, blah, blah, blah. Here are some questions. Dia pun bagi. Okay, number one. Can you do that? Okay. Ask me number one. Contoh. Ni dia ambil banyak lah ni. Okay, ask me number one. Okay, lepas tu you jawab. Can you tell me about pasal I am Chua Kiman, a student from Unimas. Okay, tengoklah dia punya responses tu. Lepas tu dia goreng lagi. This ChatGPT is trying to help you to elaborate more. Faham tak? Dia buat macam ni, I think good enough kalau nak belajar lah. Kalau nak generate all the prompt yang macam instruction approaches tu, you just say that I need to design a lesson for apa? With the topic first. Lepas tu bagi tahu, okay, based on this, can you help me suggest some idea? I think you do part by part better. Rather than you bagi semua dalam one prompt, I notice kadang-kadang dia macam berterabur sikit dia punya idea, right? So you do part by part, that would be good enough. Yang macam I show you tadi lah, this is a good example. You go part by part, bagi sikit tentang a bit of context, give a bit of context, and then from there you ask for the question. Can you suggest 2 challenges using the narrative, and then you get more idea. And if you like challenge number one, then can you make challenge 1 with some question? Can you generate some question based on challenge number 1? Then dia bagilah question tu, right? Okay. Any other question before we move on? I think ChatGPT your interest, but I don't want to repeat whatever Prof Karin mentioned. Or you can even view banyak lagi video kat tu. Tapi the one I gave you is a good example. Kalau nak prompt for education, you can just search for prompt education. There's a whole list sebenarnya now, but to me, don't have to burden yourself by memorizing all the prompt. Just make it natural lah. Assume that you are interacting with the tool to help you, right? Okay, ada lagi soalan ke? Tak ada kan?
Nope, so far.
No ya? Okay. Somebody ask who you are. Of course. Tak ada. Dia data prominent people sajalah. Yang tak popular macam saya ke, siapa ke, whoever ke, dia memang tak keluar lah. Kan? Tapi you have to be careful ya. These are things that we don't really need lah sebenarnya. We don't really need ChatGPT to tell us. Cuma, if you want to verify, you can actually give a link and then can you say verify this person. Alright? Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to leave ChatGPT sebab nanti I leave it to explore. Cuma, my word of advice, go for this original version. Jangan download app ke apa. I know a lot of people are commenting about ChatGPT punya app. Then bila I tanya, dia guna app version. And app version are sometimes outdated. Dia guna yang versi lama. Of course, the misinformation is going to be even more troublesome. I mean, dia punya information tu outdated, right? So you need to use the latest one lah. Okay. Alright, let's go to the. Okay, let's go to the next one. This one may be more helpful for still using GPT, tapi dia narrow down to research punya context, right? I would encourage you to use this for your own research journey, and also for your postgraduate student or even your student who would like to dig deeper on the scientific studies. There are many scientific tool now yang guna GPT engine. I'm sure you have heard of apa ni, Scholarly kan. Apa lagi? So many lah now. Tapi yang this one is to me is the most stable one that you can get, and it's still free, as you can see here. What it can help you is to assist you in reading and understanding scientific literature. All right, and the responses are pretty accurate. I have verified this a few times, and it's quite accurate. But again, because of the mass number of articles, you still have to make sure that you are checking it from time to time. It comes with Copilot, which is powered by GPT-3 engine. They uses the latest version, same as the one that we have in ChatGPT, right? Mapping of related papers and all that. And now it's still fully free. I don't know how long, I put here for now. I don't know how long it will be free, but I foresee it will not be free for long. But for now, since it's free, kita guna lah. The downside is you cannot compare between articles, and also dia tak ada references, dia tak accurate. I mean, dia punya formatting, bukan reference dia salah, dia formatting dia salah. Contoh APA tu dia bukan APA. Kan? Tajuk semua betul, but the format is not accurate. Okay, so that one is still fixing lah. I think they are still fixing. So kalau you pergi sciencebase.com, they still use the old URL. So you just click this one, typeset.io. You can see, you can do some search here kalau nak. You can search for articles already here, about 270 million papers here. You can directly search kalau nak. Contoh gamification. Just search. Then you can, how to put it, you can find all these resources lah. It's similar to Google Scholar and all this search database like Mendeley or Scopus or even apa tu, Web of Science, right? So tapi most of it you can download lah. You can see here PDF, nampak? You can try and download it. The one that I think it's problematic is this one. Kalau you tekan site, some of these are wrong. So if you are introducing this to your student, you can tell them that don't copy this blindly lah. This one is not really useful. Tapi this one is useful. Trace. If you're doing literature review, you know the hassle of finding related article one by one, right? And normally we will rely on Mendeley or Google Scholar to limit the time frame and all that, right? So now you can use this tool. You can even limit the year, right? Last 3 years maybe. Apply. And then if you like this one, then you can just tekan ataupun press or click trace. Then it will show you the related articles, right? Contoh yang ni 20 related article, and then you can even see the citation, the paper that this paper cited, and then you can see the whether or not you can access them, right? And of course the author and everything, right? So related paper, contoh I click another one, then it will show you the traces of how this paper is related to this one, and then this one, and this one, right? Unfortunately, at the moment, I know they're working on this because the update they are doing it. They do not have a visualization mapping yet. Yang macam knowledge mapping, you know, dia kan ada tool lain yang dia boleh map. At the moment, it's only tracing, right? Tracing. Okay, this one is the feature that I don't really, I mean, it's not my focus. The focus is this one. You pergi my library, you can upload your own paper, whatever paper lah, this is just sample. So I can upload one paper, let's say I use my old one. Upload any paper, right? You can do annotation and all that. Contoh, let's say the student reads this part, ataupun sometimes we read it, maybe abstract is already there, right? You just highlight the part and then click explain text. This is using ChatGPT engine, by the way. It's the same engine. So this guy, this Copilot lah, which is also ChatGPT punya powered by ChatGPT, will try to summarize, which is already a summary lah, kan? Kalau tak faham abstract tu pelik lah. This is just a sample, by the way. Jangan kutuk saya pula. Abstract pun tak faham. The abstract is already here, but you can see the Copilot actually explain it in a different way. Alright. Then, if you do not understand, you can type your own question. I don't understand. Can you summarize it in 50 words? Contoh. Just bagi arahan, and then you will try to summarize this again. Ni contoh saja ya, don't again. Okay, dia akan summarize lagi. Alright. Okay, that's one use. Explain text. Now, let's say you don't know what to do, student dapat artikel ke, you yourself dapat artikel, but you want to get the gist of it because you don't want to spend time reading one by one first. You just want to see, even though after, because some abstracts are not meaningful. I think we know this. Kadang-kadang kita jumpa title tu okay, tapi abstract dia tak berapa okay kan? And we need to read further, like the introduction, there may be a bit of method, and then conclusion to get the overall gist. But this one can actually tell you like what oops, sorry, I have to turn off the, kejap ya, turn off this one. What are the key takeaway? Dia dah ada suggested question kat sini. Tekan je lah, okay? One thing I like about this Copilot ialah, kalau dalam ChatGPT, the prompts are open-ended, right? You have to think of your own prompts. In this one, the prompts are suggested for you as you type. So dia akan bagi suggestion. I think this is a good one for students who need further help lah. So dia akan bagi tahu the key takeaway of this paper are dia bagi tu summary sikit. Nah, kalau you nak terangkan lagi, did the paper include contoh apa ya? Include SAM analysis, contohlah kan, I simply lah. I tanya sajalah. So dia akan go through the paper. No, betul lah. Ni paper saya, I know lah tak ada. Kalau dia kata ada tu pelik lah. Alright, because you can do this by uploading. What I did was, actually I upload my own paper, nak test betul ke tak. Because you write your own paper, you will know what you did, right? So kalau dia jawab benda yang you tak buat, then something is wrong, okay? Then the thing is, you can even ask this Copilot to interpret the table. Contoh kan yang ni. So I can just click this one, explain math and table. I drag this table, and oops, sorry. Dia akan interpret the table for you. And then you boleh check lah betul ke tak dia interpretation tu. Dia slow sikit kalau gambar ni, tapi it will be able to capture the image, change it to text, and then interpret it for you. Two ways of using this. Number one, helping you to know how to explain your table. Number two is to interpret other people's table. Okay, nampak? Table 1 present the demographic information of the sample of 142 teachers. I tak bagi tahu pun kat sini, nampak? Table tu tak bagi tahu pun 142 is mana dia dapat? Dia dapat daripada konteks tadi. They get it from the whole context of the paper. And then the table is divided into 4 column, information, blah blah blah. And then, okay, the second row is this. Tapi dia tak berapa meaningful. So can you describe the gender distribution of the sample? So okay, say the gender distribution of the sample was almost equal. Betul lah, almost equal. Kan? So student yang kalau dia nak belajar, dia boleh belajar lah cara nak tulis. Okay, kalau dia betul-betul dia ajar untuk gunalah. Jangan nanti dia copy paste, you know, and all that. Okay, but what I mean here is this tool is powered by ChatGPT, but it's more structured and more, you know, narrowed down to it's narrowed down to academic reading and also analysis, literature search, and all that. So I think this is more useful kalau you want to use ChatGPT-like mechanism, but for research purposes, research writing, research reading, and all that. Because a lot of time, I mean, you don't have to blame student. Kadang-kadang, even us as academics, we can encounter articles which is quite hard to understand because of the language or maybe the way they write. So with this kind of tool, you can kind of interpret the key findings quite, I wouldn't say like to replace our own judgment, but at least you can do the first level of filtering faster, right? The language support, unfortunately, doesn't support all the languages yet because, how to put it? OpenAI actually charges according to the language. I mean, if you plan those developers, if you are developing apps, you want to use ChatGPT engine or GPT-3 engine, you have to pay per use. The more languages you include, then the more you have to pay lah. But now I think it's sufficient for English because students are students are struggling more with the English version, right? So you can try it out and or even just pick any paper. Of course, you have to verify again. Don't treat this as a replacement, more like an assistant, right? More like an assistant. Let's say I don't want to upload my paper. I just want to use this paper. So I just click on it. And the paper will be added immediately to my library. You can see here, just click, right? And I can automatically ask Copilot, what are the key takeaways? So give it some time, it will try to read through this whole paper, and then it will try to answer. Now there are similar one out there, I told you, kan, ada kan? Tapi so far, this one, because I've been comparing, I've been doing a lot of review on this as well. This one so far to me is the most reliable one. Sebab I think they are using ChatGPT lah, punya engine, right? So I think they will charge soon. Now it's still free, so you can still use it, but I think soon they will charge. So you can see the key takeaway, all right? And you go through, oh, okay, tak ada kaitan, so you don't have to read further. Maybe, you know, the title is misleading. Sometimes the title is misleading. Title tu nampak macam related, bila content tu tak berapa related, or the abstract is not meaningful. Contoh lah, alright? Okay, if you have equation, something like this, you can actually click on this, and then highlight the equation. This one you have to be careful, because this is also the error faced by ChatGPT. If you have equation, you know, statistical model and all that, the engine powered by GPT-3 are still lacking in the capability to interpret all formulas or all equation, because, you know, of the capability of the engine is still being improved on that aspect. So this one you have to be careful. Of course, you have to use your own judgment again lah, you know. Tak boleh lah harapkan dia jawab terus. Nampak dia dah kata missing or unrecognized delimiter. Okay. Nah, nampak dia tak berapa output ni, nampak unrecognized, recognized. Okay. Tapi because I only highlight the equation, so I should have highlighted more. Ataupun because this paper itself, I think the problem with some paper ialah dia bagi equation tapi dia tak terangkan equation tu dengan tepat, right? Kita kadang-kadang baca pun kita tak faham sebab the equation dia bagi separuh-separuh. So maybe that would be another challenging part. Okay, but again, I would advise you to be more careful when it comes to equation. Sebab ataupun formula or any kind of algorithm yang ada ditunjukkan di paper or anything, even ChatGPT, you have to be very careful. You have to verify first. Okay, that's where human has to come in lah. Okay. I think this is Copilot. What else can you do? I think that's all. Any questions about about Science Space ni? Dia nama dia Science Space. Tapi nama famous dia AI Copilot. Tapi Copilot is also used in many other AI tools. Those into programming can actually go to GitHub Copilot. Yang tu untuk programming. Macam ChatGPT, tahu kan? ChatGPT you can actually ask for coding. You can even ask it to code, right? If you want to. Okay.
So any question from members of the floor?
Yeah.
Before we move to
jumpa cari AI Copilot tu kat mana?
Apa dia? Tak dengar.
AI Copilot tu nak cari kat mana? Tak jumpa cari.
Yang mana? Yang ni.
Yang box tadi tu, Kiman.
Yang box tadi tu.
Yang Copilot tu.
Yang ni you kena buka one paper dulu. So kalau nak, klik saja mana-mana paper, klik saja mana-mana paper. Bot tu akan keluar. Nampak? Ke tak nampak? I don't know.
Oh, belah kanan.
Tapi kalau mobile dia, kalau you guna mobile kecil sikit lah, tak nampak. Ada. Ni the Copilot is actually GPT-3 sebenarnya. Same as GPT. So you boleh cakap lah kat sini macam. What I like about this one, dia bagi soalan. So at least kalau you use it for your own pun, dia dah suggested some question. Kalau ChatGPT yang open tu, you have to give the prompt, right? You have to give the prompt. So not everyone knows how to do it. So you can actually brainstorm question juga. Dia akan bagi lagi soalan, generate more question out of this paper. Right? Nampak? Dia suggest lagi.
Perlu sign in ke untuk dapatkan Copilot ni? Sebab
oh yes, I forgot. Lupa. Sorry. You have to sign in. You kena sign in. Betul. Sebab I dah sign in, I terlupa nak beritahu. You kena sign in. You kena sign in dulu ya. Kalau dah sign in, you akan dapat your My Library. So you can upload your paper here ataupun you just search kat sini lah. Okay. Kalau yang pernah guna Scholarly, pernah kan? Scholarly apa lagi? Quite a number. I tak ingat. Most of them dah start charging dah. But they are also using more or less the same concept. Cuma, like I said, based on my own comparison, based on my own review, this one to me is the most reliable one at the moment. Sebab macam scholarship kadang-kadang bila you suruh dia summarize dia lagi merapu. Tak ada kaitan pun dengan artikel tu. So so this one it's better. I don't know how long this will be free lah. Sementara dia masih free ni, boleh guna lah, boleh integrate dalam your teaching and learning. For your maybe student yang nak belajar research method ke and all that, it's a good example. I mean, you have to educate your student that this is not to replace them. This is just to help them to do better search. Same like Mendeley, same like all the tools available, just to help them to find or to interpret the articles. Okay. Ada any other question for Copilot? Tak ada. So far
You want
macam
to
tak
take
ada.
a break for 5 minutes, Liman?
Boleh?
Okay. Shall we take a 5 minutes? So at least we already gone through about nearly 1.5 hours.
Ya,
So we
betul
have
juga.
another 1 hour to go. Yeah, sampai 12.30. Okay, so we'll be back by is it 11:30? Should be okay. Plus or
Boleh.
minus. All right. So thank you. Stay
Tinggal
tuned. We'll be
2
back.
lagi sikit ke?
Tinggal 2 lagi. Okay. Take a break first.
Sure.
Nearly 12:30 dah kan?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, sure.
All right. Let's continue. Before I go to the next one, there is this concern pasal apa tadi? ChatGPT using old information kan. One way to overcome this, I just share lah sementara kita cakap tentang ni. You can download this web chat GPT punya plugin. This is only for Chrome. Nantilah kan bila you dah tu, you just search for web chat GPT. Lepas tu install as your extension for Chrome kat sini, you just enable it. Dia akan keluar bar baru di ChatGPT ni, nampak? Kat bawah ni. So kalau you don't have this, contoh kalau I disable this. Kalau I go to my extension and I disable this one, kalau I refresh my GPT, I tak nampak benda tu, nampak? Clear kan? So tapi kalau I install this extension ni selamat, don't worry, sebab dah tu. So I just refresh, I will get this. What this extension is doing is giving ChatGPT access to the latest information, meaning dia dapat search. Contoh, you can pick 6 result, bila, past year, past day, past week, past month. Contoh past week, contoh benefits of chatbots. Sorry, I tak tekan yang ni. You can enable dulu. I lupa pula stop generating. Tekan enable dia dulu. Alright, benefit of chatbots. Lepas tu dia akan keluar dulu link, nampak? Dia akan keluarkan link artikel and these are all accurate link. Sebab this plugin, this extension memang dia ambil daripada web results, top results. So dia akan gunakan the link yang the latest one and then generate the summary and dia akan bagi link to that source. Contoh yang ni, tekan this one, you will be brought to that source. Samalah and all this. Okay, so this is one way for you to kind of get the latest information just by installing the web chat GPT. At the moment, they have not linked it to Google Scholar, but it's in the pipeline, right? It's in the pipeline. They want to also integrate with all the search engine. So basically, you don't have to limit yourself to 2021 anymore. Dia akan search the latest information dulu, baru dia tapis the sources. Okay, you can decide lah, you nak berapa result and all that, past week ke, nak limited to certain area only ke, and all that. Okay, this is for those yang interested lah. Okay, next one, kita pergi ke this one. I don't know how many will be benefiting for this, but those yang mengajar design ke, or even you tak buat design pun, you tak mengajar design, tapi you can use this as a tool to generate ideas or inspiration for all kind of things, for posters, for idea for your own teaching and learning. Kalau you nak buat map ke apa ke, fantasy map ke for your gamification module ke and all that. So what happened is there are many out there. This is like older than ChatGPT, dah quite a few years, including macam Stable Diffusion, even OpenAI ada DALL-E, dia ada dia punya engine, but this one to me, Midjourney, is the most advanced one. Dia punya quality tu, you yourself pun akan amazed, right? At the moment, it's still fully free sebab dia masih beta and then fair use. You don't have to give credit to anyone. You just have to acknowledge given to Midjourney. Ni yang issue lah, copyright issue tu. Tapi, they are not against the law. Gunalah gambar dalam tu, asalkan you acknowledge the images are generated by Midjourney. Faham? Tak perlu ada copyright ke, tak payah royalty, tak ada. Alright. And the con, it relies on Discord server. You kena install Discord dulu. Yang tak pernah guna Discord, boleh install Discord dulu. Kalau nak guna web version pun boleh, discord.com. Discord dia macam social media platform macam Telegram. Tapi dia, the beauty of Discord ialah server dia decentralized. Right? So what happened, why Midjourney guna Discord? Sebab nak speed up the process. Kalau you guna tool lain, Stable Diffusion ke DALL-E ke, dia lambat, dia slow. Midjourney ni lebih laju. Alright? And some of the prompts need to learn lah. But the page is like this. Kalau you pergi midjourney.com, nampak macam ni. Just click join the beta. Tapi bila you click join the beta, dia akan terus bawa ke Discord. Nampak? Dia akan guna ke Discord. You kena install Discord dululah. Okay? So just register an account di Discord, masuk ke Discord. Kalau you dah ada Discord, lagi senang, just cari sahaja Meet Journey. Kalau I type kat dalam chat. Okay. Yang ni you need a bit of getting used to lah, kena familiarize sendiri. Tapi I just show you dulu because I know tak ramai yang ada Discord, especially among educators. But if you have, that will be easier. Terus masuk, but I show you saja, nanti you can explore. Ni wajah Mid Journey dalam Discord ni. Okay, so just Mid Journey dalam ni. You nak baca dulu dia punya announcement, recent changes tu, can go ahead. But kalau nak terus cuba, pergi saja ke newcomer room 3, 4 ni. What happen is sebab Discord is decentralized. The moment you masuk ke whatever you're invited, you are assigned to random rooms. So kita nampak macam ada 4 room saja kan, tapi dalam server tu sebenarnya banyak room. Cuma different user will go to different room lah kan. We are assigned to that room. But you can click any of this room. Within this room, nampak tak? You can generate all kind of images just by using words. Tak perlu pandai guna Photoshop ke apa, tak payah. And then you can see all kind of images being generated lah. Kan nak buat logo ke, nak buat interface and all that. All you have to do, masuk ke newbie room macam ni, newbie 1 ke mana, I go 1 dulu, I pergi 1 dulu. And then, prompt dia senang sahaja, /imagine. Lepas tu space. Boleh nampak kan? Bawah ni. Maybe I zoom in sikit kot. Nampak bawah ni? /imagine. Lepas tu dia akan keluar prompt. Type lah prompt tu nak apa. Contoh apa? Book cover showing showing a girl standing near a paddy field. Contoh lah kan, I bagi random dulu lah, imagine. So you tekan saja enter. You kena tunggu sebab make sure you remember your ni, sebab dia akan waiting to start. Tapi dia akan prompt you lah kalau dah siap. So waiting to start tu maksudnya you kena tunggu giliran. Nampak dia dah start generate dah. Dah start generate. Nampak macam scary sikit. Don't worry. Dia tak scary ni. Dia tengah buat layering. Okay, layering. Nampak? Dia tengah buat layering. Dah jatuh sikit sebab ada, mana dah? Ada yang ni. Nampak? Main. Dah siap. How many minit tadi? Tak sampai 5 minit kot. Tak sampai 2 minit. Kan? Tapi of course these are ideas. Oh, by the way, any text to image punya generator at the moment, tak kisahlah Stable Diffusion ke, DALL-E ke apa. The problem is always the human features. Tapi Mid Journey punya step tu are the most amazing one. Dia try to buffer dengan banyak layer sampai tak nampak sangat dia punya cacat celah tu. Tapi adalah sikit, nampak ni? Ada sikit cacat kan? Maksudnya dia ada macam sengit sikit. Tapi you can see this one is so nice. Even this one. Kan? Anyone yang you like ni, dia akan auto generate 4. Or every time dia akan auto generate 4. You just have to tekan mana you nak. Kalau you want ni upper one, you two yang ni, yang ni. So contoh you nak yang satu ni, you like this one, tekan sahaja upscale one. Dia akan besarkan that one for you. Okay? Tu maksud you want upscale. Kalau you tekan V maksudnya variation. Dia akan generate other variation of the more or less similar one. Dia akan bagi alternatif. I tunjuk dulu upscale dulu. Dia dah keluar ke upscale ni? Belum. Upscaling nampak. Upscaling. Waiting to start. Okay. By the way, sebab dia Discord, sebenarnya Mid Journey ni dia guna our computer punya processing power juga. So kalau komputer kita slow, dia akan slow jugalah. So you need dia sebab dia nak decentralize the server kan. But okay lah, I think so far. I tried in many platform. Dia nampak nampak laju lah. Okay, mana dah main tadi? Masih waiting to start. Tak apalah, you get what I mean. Tunggu dia dulu. Contohlah I tekan V juga. I nak variation of number 2 ni. I buat 2 variation. Tunggu dia proses. You can see other people punya idea ni. Dia ada gambar yang ni dengan anak and semua macam-macam. So yang ni kalau dia nak yang ni a bit sensitive lah. Selling iPhone 14 tapi dia buat cover. Okay. Alright. Contoh kalau you nak buat illustration for your book kan. Contoh a private detective. Nampak sini dia dah generate and then you can even tell them what kind of artist you like to follow. Mana main tadi kan? Belum siap. Dah siap. Nampak? Ni variation ni. Tapi you have to be careful with human features lah. Biasanya kalau muka-muka ni you can see ada dia slow sikit. Tapi gambar kalau scenery semua tu cantik. Yang ni kalau I edit sikit, I buang ni dah boleh buat buku dah ni. Dah boleh buat cover buku. Alright. Contoh, I buat layan-layan. Okay, imagine a website for University Malaysia Terengganu with purple and blue colour scheme. Contoh. I bagi macam tu je lah. Tengok dia buat macam mana. Sebab Mid Journey to me is a good way of getting inspiration sebenarnya. Bukanlah kata tak macam semua ni you nak ambil terus kan. Tapi macam ni dah cantik ni bolehlah guna terus. Tapi kalau tak, you can still modify. Dapat idea. Karakter ke, logo ke. Mana tadi main. Yang macam ni kan. So I still have to edit ni. I can actually ask Midjourney to remove this kalau I nak. So I can open in browser. So di mana pula ni? Open dia pergi kat mana? Oh sini. Nampak? Quality dia cantik ni. Kalau you zoom in pun it's still very nice. Kalau you letak dalam Photoshop, you nak edit sikit, nak buang yang ni pun boleh lagi. Still, still amazing. How amazing this tool is. I know the concern is graphic designer tak dapat cari makan. Sebenarnya, graphic designer cari makan guna ni juga. Sebab they get idea kan. Sebab they need idea, so they modify. Okay, contoh kan. I bagi yang ni. Mana tadi? Mana dah? Website. Tapi nampak tak apa sesuai. Sebab dia tak tahu EMT kat mana kot. Sebab arahan saya, a website for Indonesias Roadmap with purple and blue colour scheme kan. Nampak? Dengan bangunan sekali dia purple kan. Tapi you can get the idea lah. Kalau yang buat design website tu, boleh get some idea. Kalau pun nak buat logo. Okay, imagine a logo for a football team. Name, let's say, UMTFC. Contoh, I bagi simple lah. Tapi you nak lagi panjang prompt tu, lagi bagus lah. You can put hyper realistic, 3D, you can have a painting format and all that. Mid Journey punya engine banyak digunakan dalam app, dalam phone. If you have downloaded some app from phone tu, it uses Mid Journey punya engine. Cuma dia, sebab dia capability dia tak cantik, so some of the generated image tu tak berapa betul lah. Alright. But kalau nak try to use Mid Journey. Nampak dia guna football team kat mana dia sebagai contoh tu. So dia tu generate a logo. Of course you still need editing lah. Sebab dia anything yang ada words pun dia kadang-kadang salah. Kan? Of course you have to be more specific. Bagi lagi spesifik lah you nak jenis apa. Kalau tak suka, if you don't like this, you just tekan yang ni, dia akan regenerate a new one. Okay? So for a start, the good thing about Mid Journey sebab dia dalam Discord, you can see what people are typing. Right? Nampak dia type apa tu? This one pun ada typing apa. So you can try to imitate lah, follow dia punya style. Kalau I nak try one more for you, just to tease you. Superhero, maybe a 3D photo, hyper realistic, old man, eating popcorn on a MRT train. Contoh lah kan. Yang ni, tengok logo dah siap. Contoh you like this one, boleh download yang ni. Lepas tu edit sajalah yang bawah ni nanti dalam Photoshop. Contoh lah. Ataupun you nak terus guna yang atas. For example. Ataupun you can keep on regenerating sampai you suka. Ataupun generate more variation. Okay, this is the new one that I just tunggu dia siap. So Mid Journey at the moment still free, still hopefully I don't think it will free forever lah. Biasalah kan, you know lah all the tools. Kalau dah canggih macam ni, tak dapat duit, macam mana nak hidup, right? How do they survive? Kan? Even ChatGPT pun dah start charging. So Ya, main dah keluar tadi kan. Nampak dia? So realistic. Mana you nak ada masa nak buat ni berjam-jam kan? Tapi nampak macam itulah. This is my prompt ya, by the way. A 3D photo hyper realistic old man eating popcorn. Nah, ejaan pun salah, sorry. I eja salah pun dia still can detect kan? Can still understand what I mean. Kalau you rasa you suka yang number atas ni, just tekan variation, dia akan generate lagi lah. Okay. But all this done in minutes. Right? In minutes. Okay. Kalau you nak, I saw some question tu. Kalau you nak upload your own photo as a reference, you boleh. Tapi dia macam ni. Dia kena letak. I normally advise you to upload to somewhere dulu. Pergi ke macam image sharing punya website ke apa. Then bagi the link. Right? Ataupun you can just take the link yang dah di-upload. Normally I saw people, ni contoh ya, ni contoh. Okay, contoh. Ni link nampak? This is the link. Ni link dia. Dia dah upload somewhere. This guy, girl, tak tahulah. Dia upload the photo somewhere. Alright. Lepas tu dia letak saja link tu dekat depan. Nampak? Okay, arahan dia adalah senang saja. Contoh, imagine. Bagi link dia dulu. Contoh, I copy link. Siapa ada gambar. Sekejap, I cari. Contoh saja ni. Jangan ikut step ni. Sebab salah ya. Sebab kalau guna gambar orang, you kena minta permission dulu kan. Biasa-biasa lah. Contoh man, I cari yang mana-mana. Sekejap. Ambil gambar bismillah. Okay, copy image address. Oh, tapi ni panjang sangat. Sekejap. The problem with some images yang you search tu. Sekejap. Okay, contohlah ambil ni. Okay, gambar ni. Ni link dia kan. Link atas tu. Link kat atas ni ambil. Lepas tu tekan kat prompt. Letak saja link tu. Lepas tu bagilah. Turn into a cartoon character for Disney. So dia akan terus auto gunakan gambar yang kita dah upload tu berlink tu as a reference. And then dia akan generate. What I notice is kalau gambar yang kita upload tu ada certain features, kadang-kadang dia tak sesuai dengan gambar tu lah. Contoh kita ambil gambar kita kan, kita nak suruh tukar enhance. Sometimes dia tak tepat. Muka kita tu lain. But at least it can be done lah. Like this one, mana tadi mine? Ini tengah waiting to start. Yang ni dah ada orang ikut yang sama. Ni gambar yang dia generate kan. Nampak tak kalau gambar asal dia? Mana? Ni gambar asal dia. You use this photo, you ambil gambar ni as a reference. Lepas tu you masukkan sini, dia tukar jadi macam 3D sikit. Yang ni mine. Dia dah tukar gambar tadi jadi Disney character lah. Dia tengah tukar. Okay, Chris Evans tadi. Ni gambar asal. Mana mai tadi? Dah jatuh.
Tu yang bawah.
Nampak lain kan? Tapi okey lah. So this is gambar asal, this one is gambar kartun. So dia boleh gunakan that gambar as a reference juga. Tapi you have to upload your gambar somewhere lah. Okay? Prompt dia senang saja, /imagine, bagi link, lepas tu bagilah apa-apa keyword. And your keywords, your arahan, your text prompt tu, tak perlu grammatically correct. Bagi keyword pun cukup. Tak perlu kata macam dalam ChatGPT tu kena meaningful sentence kan. Yang ni tak payah. Bagi keyword pun cukup. Dia akan generate accordingly. Okay? Alright. Whatever we have prompted to AI to generate, it can be deleted later kan. You can delete yours, I think. Yang ni. Okay, tak boleh dah. Okay. Tapi server dia akan reset anyway. So every 24 hour dia clear. So you don't have to worry lah. So apa you dah buat kat sini, you just save. Lepas tu every 24 hour dia akan clear. So kena save lah. Kalau tak save nanti dia hilang. Sebab ramai sangat tengah guna ni. Okay. If you are concerned about pornographic material and all that, you don't have to worry. Memang tak akan dibenarkan. So memang dia tak akan benarkan lah. Okay. Any source of pornographic element ke apa ke memang tak akan dibenarkan. Dia akan filter terus the words. Alright. Alright, this is Mid Journey. Ada soalan tentang Mid Journey before I go to the last two. Last two sebenarnya I don't think so-so lah. Tapi who knows kalau you perlu. Mid Journey boleh explore ya. Okay.
There's a question dalam chat box tu. So variation ni can be considered as presets or pre-made or filter.
Variation tak. Variation basically dia akan regenerate. Contoh kalau I tekan yang variation ni, yang bawah ni, dia akan generate position sama, tapi dia akan tukar colour baju ke, dia akan tukar rambut style ke, tapi sama position dia. Macam if you see this one, macam you see the one mana my girl tadi tu. Position dia sama, tapi dia akan tukar sikit riak wajah ke apa and all that. Kalau you nak even more specific based on the variation tu, you can say make her smile. Lepas tu dia akan smile lah. Sebab based on that variation. Kalau you tak buat macam tu, every time you tekan regenerate, dia akan generate yang baru. Dia akan keep on generating yang baru. So nanti you akan hilang lah. That's the downside of all this AI tool. You will never get the same thing twice. Contoh you bagi keyword ni sekali lagi, it will generate a new one lagi dah. So you will lose out on this one. Contohnya kalau you tak save. If you didn't save, then you will not be able to retrieve it again. Because it's the you know lah how parameters work kan. The probability of getting the same one is very very low. Okay, alright. I think that is Mid Journey. So far, this is one of the most powerful one. In terms of copyright, everything, just take this with a pinch of salt. At the moment, memang tak ada issue lagi. Wait until it becomes an issue. So far tak ada issue lagi. You can still use it. Just acknowledge it sahaja. Maksudnya you can say, contoh kalau I guna for my slides, I can just say, this image is generated using Mid Journey. That's it. Sebab you cannot give credit to anyone because there's no human involved. The AI is doing the job. You just have to acknowledge it until the copyright law, tukar lah. Copyright law tukar, then nanti akan kita deal with it later lah. Okay. Alright. Any other question? Kalau tak ada, kita pergi ke last one lah. Okay. I think masa pun dah tu. Last one sebenarnya I was contemplating nak tu, tapi because I wanted to show you another one, the DID. It's an avatar, virtual avatar, but that one no longer free. And the bayaran dia sangat mahal. But maybe I just tell you what it is lah, so that you can try kalau you berminat yang ni. Ni kalau yang berminat. Kalau contoh nak buat MOOC, you want to do MOOC ke video ke, like you don't want to show your face, or maybe you want to show your face but with a different avatar, you can use DID. This is also AI powered. Just type your text and everything, it will make your static image move like you are talking, right? Contoh yang ni, this is a sample. So if I create a new video, I can type whatever I want to type here, then it will generate the video. Contoh, hello, welcome to this webinar on AI in education. Then I can pick my language, not friendly or excited, or maybe guy, something like that. Friendly, okay. And then I will just type generate video. Then it will generate. You can even upload your own photo. This one, you can add your own photo. Just add. Just make sure your photo is according to the requirement. Your face yang static tu akan bercakap lah. Just like you are talking. Okay, this is good if you are developing material yang memerlukan you to talk lah. Tapi I don't think you probably don't need it for teaching Erlang sangat. Unless you are into MOOC videos, or maybe your teaching videos, you can use this. Okay, so example is here. One example is this one.
Hello. Welcome to this webinar on artificial intelligence in education.
Nampak, it's a bit so lah, but okay lah kan for start. Yang ni, this is another one lah. This is another one. Yang ni friendly.
Welcome to this webinar on AI in education.
These are all static photos that they change into movable character. So you can try uploading your own photo and see how it looks like. The danger is this is what they call as deep fake lah. Like you don't say that thing, people use your face to claim that you say something. But I think this one is easily detectable that it's not real, right? But like I said, I don't want to introduce it so much because it's already no longer free. This one is 14-day trial only. After that, you have to pay, right? The one that I want to show you is this one, Lumens 5. Not the same. It's to help you with some presentation, or maybe for your student to do rapid video creation based on text or prompts or even script, right? And it also support voiceover recording and all that. It's still free for Ayani, free forever, unlimited video, but the video is limited to 720p. Decent enough for mobile view lah, not HD, but good enough for mobile view if you want to develop material for your teaching and learning. This one, you don't have to show your face. It's like this. It looks like this, Lumens 5. It's a bit of like a, not really advanced AI, but it's useful. You just choose your template, or let's say you like this one, use this template. It's more or less similar like Canva. I think Canva now has this feature, just that Lumens has this apa ni? Yang ni. You just type your script here or your content, then it will generate the slides or the video for you. Like for example, introduction to AI in education, part 1, principles, part 2, tools, part 3, apa ni? Issues. Then you can type more lah here. So we will do this and that. This is not really a good example. You're supposed to type your script or whatever here lah, kan? And then just do. You can choose whether you want AI to generate a summary or use every sentence. I normally, if you're happy with your own sentences, you just say use every sentence and then convert to video. Or you want to do a teaser video for certain content like an article. You can just find the article. Let's say I go to the Star. Let's say I go to the Star. Maybe I click this one. I take the link of this article. I can paste it here, right? But now you can see here, the video is done for you immediately, and it according to your part 1, part 2, and your slide is ready almost instantly lah. And it's you can add audio, you can add music, you can record a voiceover, everything. Or if you want to preview, it become like this. This will be some sound. Of course, this is the text is not really good because I don't have anything. What happened is the AI will capture your keyword and then will find the suitable photos, right? Okay, this is if you type lah, kan? If you don't want, you can put the link here, import. It will do the summary based on the article that you have, feeded it. It will try to decipher and then categorize it and then generate a video for you. This one will take a bit of time. Dah siap. It extract everything here based on the article and then just click convert to video. Now you will have a video done instantly for you based on whatever here. I think this is good for certain content, like you have your article, you want it to be in like a presentable format, and then it will generate you can see here. But of course, it doesn't look that interesting yet. But at least you have the idea, and then you can generate change the background and everything if you want to, or you can swap design as well, or shuffle colors. Okay. Right. If I were to preview this, I get a teaser video done immediately. In fact, TV, Astro Awani and all this, they use this. Kan, kadang-kadang they ada fact infographic. They use this actually. They just type that, and then they keluar. You can see the same style here. All the TV channel, they use this. Because they, mana ada masa nak pergi suruh video editor edit kan. So they just highlight everything and then you will see this. Kalau you watch all these news channels and all that, you will realize it's the same pattern. Alright. Of course, you can add on other things. You can add media. If you don't like it to be plain, you can tambahlah gambar, You can have icon and all that. So basically, this tool is helpful if you need to do something quick for your content, video content, or even slides, and also to teach your student how to summarize in a visual format. Of course, they have to check lah, check, and change the background and everything. Okay. I think this one is the one yang quite amazing lah. You just give the link, it will import everything here, and then it will it will actually generate. Now, normally if you allow this, then the text will be longer. I would advise you to also do a bit of editing lah, just edit a bit, and then you will get a better outcome. But it's good enough actually. It highlights the most important thing in the article. This one is the one just now, the old one. It just add on. Okay. That's about it. Actually, Lumens is quite easy to use. But if you're familiar with Canva and all that, it will be easy. All you have to do is just publish. For free version, you will have the watermark down there, but unlimited creation. You can create as many as you want, and there's no limit in terms of the account duration. So for now, it's the free version. They claim they want it to be free forever. Hopefully, they stay true to what they claim. If not, then you have to pay. Okay, because they actually put that free forever with unlimited video. All right, so I think that's the tool number 4. I don't think there's any question for tool number 4, but let me quickly recap the part 3 sekejap, managing issue. I think this one we can talk about this the whole day, but I just want to highlight some issue about ethics and integrity. I mean, a lot of article, a lot of discussion, even Prof. Karim pun mentioned about this, to ban or not to ban AI generated essay. So I think these few articles are quite useful. Like this one, AI generated essays, are students cheating or just staying ahead of the time? This is a good question actually. I mean, even before ChatGPT, we have been talking about plagiarism and all that, and whether or not it's still necessary for students to produce language output in order to, to make sure that they are assessed. Same thing with this, with this article as well, talking about the same thing. Whether you like it or not, here's why many education think it should be embraced rather than shunned. So, I mean, how long can you ban anyway, right? Even the CTO mentioned, you probably must be regulated, but may not be like 100% regulated, because it's still based on the ethical AI kind of principle, and also the issue of testing. So what I want to highlight is only these 4 points before we end when it comes to ethics and integrity concerning AI in education. I think the first thing that we need to ask ourselves is this one: assess what matters most. Like, why are we still depending on language output, like essays, like a long report, just to measure certain skills? First thing is always the practicality lah, kan? We always go for certain assessment which is practical. Like having a group of students to produce report will limit the number of report that we need to mark, because it's always the issue. Kalau seorang hantar essay tu memang tak mampu kita nak mark. So we will always go for that kind of alternative. But to be honest, for certain skills, it cannot be measured based on the report, because we know even if 5 people or 3 people are doing the report, maybe only 2 are doing it, because the marks are shared, right? And because of the way the assessment is designed, it doesn't really measure the student's ability, to be honest. So you might want to rethink on certain skill set that you think is better to be measured using other ways. Because at the moment, if you rely on text output, then ChatGPT will be a threat. Because, like I argue for my own course, one of the assignment is asking 3 students to write a 3-page essay on a discussion, on a discussion issue, any issue they want, but a discussion one. Who on earth actually write a discussion essay in 3? Kan? If you want to discuss a topic like pro and cons of internet, why do you need to work with 3 people to just discuss? You can just write it on your own, actually, kan? I mean, the nature of the task itself doesn't really warrant you to do that. Then we blame them for copying here and there, because it's not really authentic. That's not something that you do in real life. Might as well measure them using a different mean. Maybe ask them to pitch in front of you first. Then from there, you can judge their language ability. From the pitch, produce a slide deck, and then write a short report based on that slide deck, for example. At least they get an idea on what is the most appropriate way of writing certain parts of your argument or certain parts of your explanation. And that is more meaningful when they go out to work anyway. But when they go out to work, like I argue, no employer will ask them to write a 3-page essay. I mean, in my context, I mean, I'm not making a blanket statement. I'm saying that some of our assessment actually need to be reevaluated and rethink whether or not it's reflecting what they need to do in real life, or even in working life, or even in different contexts, right? Focus on teacher-student communication. This is crucial. The more you interact with your student, the better you are in understanding them, then the better it is for you to decide whether they are on the right track or not. Because, like my case, for example, if you because I mark a lot of essays. Just by reading it, you kind of know it's already, you know that this is not from him or her because you've been talking to this person or you know the person's ability and all that. So, are you sure this is yours? You get what I mean? Because of that interaction with your student. The more interaction you have with the student, the better. But this is not easy to do, right? Especially if your class size is big. So you might want to figure out what else can be done to make sure that you know your student's ability at a certain level. And when they produce something which is not honest, it's easier to detect, right? And of course, you don't have to penalize them immediately. You might want to ask why are they doing it, or maybe reevaluate your evaluation, buat benda lain atau buat assessment lain, okay? But 3 is critical. I believe no matter how free you want AI to be, I personally, even though I am like people say, oh, you are a tech guy, of course you sokong tu, I sokong. I memang all out for educational too. But I believe it should be regulated, but not to punish, not to ban, but to educate. Same thing like how we regulate all kind of things like autonomous car, even secrets and all that. And we have to regulate. We know it's fine, but you still have to have some form of regulation. Like you can use it, but at certain level that only for certain tasks, or maybe if you want to make it open, what would be the consequences? It's more on to educate rather than to punish, right? And of course, you have to educate academic integrity and ethics from the beginning lah. Normally, student who knows this, they will make use of ChatGPT and all these tools or even AI tools to do better things, not to just simply copy. Yang simply copy ni normally, they are not interested in learning at all sebenarnya. So it's quite easy to detect jugalah kan. Kalau dia care about learning, even though with tools like ChatGPT, they will figure out how to improve it, like how to make use of that tools and then do some changes or maybe repurpose it or remixing it to make it more convincing. Sebab kalau yang jenis copy blindly ni, tak kisahlah ada ChatGPT ke, tak ada ChatGPT ke, they will do the same habit because dia tak interested langsung dengan the learning process. So to me, it's not really an issue of ChatGPT ke tak, it's more on the issue of the education about all this integrity and ethics. Okay? Alright, I think that's the end of me. Kalau nak, the slide deck is here. Kalau nak slide deck, UMTAI. The slide deck ada. Ada soalan lagi? Just in case. I was told sampai 12 ni, 10 to 12. Tu yang I try my best to finish by 12. Sebab the masa given to me is until 12 according to the plan lah. Tapi tak apa, kalau ada soalan, I'm free to entertain.
So anyone would like to ask any question to Mr. Kiman? You are pleased to do so. Very interesting about AI.
I mean, this is just tip of the iceberg. Kalau nak betul explore memang banyak lah memang. Cuma what I notice is people are taking advantage of all this. They are making, all this. They are using the same thing, contoh ChatGPT, but they spawn into different form of app. They take advantage of making money. So dia nampak macam banyak. Sebenarnya it's still the same thing. It's still ChatGPT, contoh lah kan, ChatGPT, tapi banyak app of the same thing. So user will become overwhelmed. Oh, banyaknya. Sebenarnya it's still based on the core. Tak ada question?
Okay,
I think tak ada kot.
Tak ada question Okay, so if there's no more questions, so I will recap some of the webinar's important key points. Okay, the first thing is get to know the AI first, right? Use it to adapt with our learning processes. Okay. Implementation strategies mesti ada. Useful tools and their potential is very important. Which one is suitable for for example, like for our class or for our lecture. And AI is a resources, but not institution. So they are not replacing us. That's the most important thing that we have to remember. Okay, so we have come to the end of today's webinar. So we appreciate your attendance and involvement in the webinar. And also the suggestion during our Q&A session were helpful and valued. So before we end, any 2 minutes words from our speaker today?
Thank you so much for inviting again, and then I wish everyone all the best in adopting to this trend. Just jangan takut lah, try first, right?
Right. Okay. So to Mr. Chua Kiman from University Malaysia Sarawak, thank you so much for your time and also for your expertise. Last but not least, I want to thank everyone who attended today's webinar from UT and also from other institutions. Again, as well as our speaker. Hope to see everyone again, inshallah. More webinar with an interesting topic will be conducted in the near future from Center for Development and Innovation, UMP. So before we end, we have our photo session. So I am sure that everyone, could you please to on your camera, and then I will count until 9. Oh, sorry, until 10. Right. So Puan Hadila from Center for Innovation and Development Talent will take a picture. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, I will start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we shall stop at 11 today. Thank you so much, everyone. Again, thank you, Mr. Kiman from Unimas. I shall meet you again in the near future. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully. Yeah.
right, from UMT, thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you again.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Take care.